This is the new M4 iPad Pro and Apple Pencil Pro that could mean a new era for digital creativity. Let's talk about it. Hi everyone, this is the new M4 iPad Pro and I'm holding the 13-inch one in silver with the glossy standard display. The reason why I went for the standard display and not the nano textured one is because I like to film ASMR videos and I think that the screen protectors can just give me more friction for that type of content. The nano texture display is only an option for 1TB or more iPad Pros and they're just very expensive here in Europe. But I'd love to test that one too, maybe sometime in the future. Apple, I'm watching you. This is a very bittersweet moment to me because I got my first iPad in 2020 and I started my whole business around iPad and relying on iPad completely. It was a time when everything changed for me and I was able to build a successful digital stationery small business. I haven't updated my iPad since because there were just no major updates. It's been almost the same and now 4 years later we have something very new and a big potential for big changes. We will see what gets introduced on the WWDC in June. In this video, I wanted to share just my first impressions of using these devices and maybe something that you haven't heard before, so you can get another perspective and maybe it will help you decide whether this is something you'd love to invest in today or in the future. I have seen some reviews mention that it is really strange that the M4 was introduced to iPads first, but to me it seems very logical. Tablets are computers of the future and the ones with the most space for improvements, especially with the Apple Pencil and other styluses. So introducing M4 chip with an improved neural engine with the potential for solving a lot of AI tasks seems just fitting and I'm so excited to see what developers can do with it. What makes this iPad really worth it in my opinion is the Apple Pencil, and this is the case for all the iPads. Apple Pencil is a tool that transforms an iPad into a creative device, and the new Pencil Pro has some new features that, with the new software, can potentially change the way we use our iPads. So let's talk about the Apple Pencil Pro first. The moment I unpacked it and started using it, all the new functions felt really intuitive to me and I got used to it instantly. We've got the new squeeze and double tap with haptic feedback now. I have to admit that I was not using the double tap that much before, almost at all, but with the introduction of haptic feedback now, it just feels natural to me to use it and in general I feel very connected to the Apple Pencil. I cannot say anything bad for the Apple Pencil 2, but the Pencil Pro just feels like you're interacting with your stylus and it's part of you in a way. So in my opinion, even though the new Apple Pencil Pro looks just the same, it's a big improvement. One thing I find weird though is that the new Pencil Pro only works with the new M2 iPad Airs and the new M4 iPad Pros. In my opinion, this pencil could have a different name like Apple Pencil 3 or something, if it's going to work with the new Airs and not the old models of iPad Pros with M2 chips. I really enjoy the new barrel roll and seeing the shadow of the tool I selected before I tap on the screen with the Apple Pencil, and also the actual shadow that shows up in the Notes app. It's so cool in my opinion. Especially in GoodNotes when I'm using the highlighter, it makes such a big difference. You can also customize the squeeze and double tap gestures for your needs. And I love the option for showing the quick tool palette. It just makes using my most used apps much easier, and I love playing with shortcuts for the squeeze function. It feels so cool when you can, for example, open your journal or screenshot by just squeezing the Apple Pencil. However, it gets a bit confusing if you want to use both squeeze to open your journal and squeeze to open tool palette, for example. I feel like it would be cool if we had a double squeeze or something, so it makes this process a bit easier. One thing that I noticed is that the new Apple Pencil Pro feels more matte than my Apple Pencil 2nd generation, but I concluded that was just because I've used it so much and used so many accessories for it that it became oily. And now when I have a fresh new Apple Pencil, it just feels matte compared to the old one. You can also squeeze your pencil when you're really far away from your iPad, which is pretty nice. Not sure if I saw this mentioned anywhere before. A question you might have is whether the old Apple Pencil accessories still work with the new one. And the answer is it depends. This Elago pencil sleeve still works well and you can easily use the squeeze function, but some other accessories with harder silicone and without this cutout part might not do so well. Now onto the iPad itself and the Magic Keyboard. I got the 13-inch one. The bigger screen means a lot to me since I use my iPad for so many different creative projects. And now that it's so light, the bigger the better, in my opinion. I've heard many people say we didn't ask for a thinner or lighter iPad, and that was my first thought too initially, but after some time in my use case, I really noticed a difference between these. The previous iPad 12.9-inch, even though it was also really thin, it was pretty heavy if you're moving it around the whole day. I remember when I unpacked my 12.9-inch iPad Pro and I was amazed at how thin it was, but then when I held it in my hand, I thought, "Ooh, this is heavy." It was unbelievable to me that something this thin has that kind of weight, and now I have a feeling like it's very proportional and that the size-weight ratio really makes sense. The display feels really nice and it takes some time to get used to. I noticed that the different displays that I have on my MacBook Pro, iMac, iPhone and iPads all feel really different, and at some point when I sit at my desk and work on all of them, my head starts hurting from all the differences. So it would be so nice to have one type of display on all of my devices. An interesting fact is that the Apple logo is changed to help with heating less, and it now has copper in it, which is allowing it to efficiently extract heat and radiate it into the air, which is a detail that really excited me, and I love that the logo placement turned out to be practical. The camera is now moved horizontally, which really makes sense to me as I use my iPad in landscape mode 99% of the time. So Face ID is now much smoother. I use my iPad together with the Apple Pencil for most of my tasks, so I never really got the Magic Keyboard before, even though I connected other keyboards to it, but the new design really spoke to me. I think the new one really feels premium, sturdy and long-lasting. And instead of the physical click, we now have haptic feedback, which is kind of insane to me because I have a feeling like it's still a physical click. Sadly, the new Magic Keyboard only works with the new Pros, so you won't be able to update only the keyboard. I love all the updates in terms of aesthetics and hardware, but I feel like there are not many differences compared to the older M2 models in terms of software and everyday use if we disregard the Apple Pencil Pro. So I would suggest waiting for WWDC in June, and that's when we will discover if the potential of this iPad will really come to life. There are definitely differences in performance, but we still don't have the apps that manifest them, so I'm really excited for next month. I also haven't customized my iPad yet, so let me know in the comments if that's something you would love to see in the next video and we can do it together. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one. Bye!